are live. It is the BCJ podcast / Dave After Dark right here on BearcatJournal.com, brought to you as always by our good friends at the Holy Grail. Make sure you are getting downtown, you are hanging out at the banks, and if you are hanging out at the Holy Grail, get yourself some Reuben wontons, have a couple drinks, and enjoy the atmosphere down at the banks with our good friends at the Holy Grail. All right, let's get this show on the road. This one is going to be, who knows? Dave is poolside.
Cheers.
Unfortunately, not in the pool. This originally started with Dave trying to broadcast live from the pool, but that didn't work, unfortunately. It delayed us a few minutes.
Yeah.
But Dave is live poolside with a bottle of Italian wine. Yeah, he was in the pool with a unicorn or a float of some sort to set the stage. A giraffe.
A dolphin and a donkey.
A dolphin and a donkey.
All sorts of inflatables.
It would have been one of the most epic visuals in BCJ podcast history.
We got to see it.
Yeah, we got to see it. You guys missed it, but that for some reason we couldn't. It was a little too far from the Wi-Fi, so we couldn't make it work. But here we are, and what better way to discuss what is? I don't think, without question, this is the biggest official visit weekend in the history of Cincinnati football. We had little birdies at Open Gym yesterday. We have. 10 commitments since our last show. To gloss over, Dave, I don't think we're going to get in great detail as you get deeper and deeper into that bottle of fine Italian wine. But we did enough deep dive. Left. There's a little left. We did enough deep dive on the commitments throughout the week. So we'll touch on all that. We'll touch on much more. But This is the joy that you can only get from a BCJ podcast and a Dave After Dark as Dave hangs out by the pool, live on vacation from Destin, Florida. Hi, Dave.
The content game never stops, Chad. No matter what. We are committed to our loyal BCJ fans. So got back from dinner. Tried to do a setup in the pool. The internet / headphones would not cooperate, so we are in a lounger poolside.
I love it. You'll get to see me live from LA here in 2 weeks. Next week's show should be fairly normal, and then 2 weeks from now I'll be live. Half a block from Venice Beach, doing a BCJ podcast as well. So that just shows we're slaves to the content. Vacation does not slow us down. Uh-oh. This is going to be a circus.
No, you're good. We might have guests. You never know what's going to happen. And so has an hour and 35 minutes of battery life left, and I forgot the charger. So
I think
and we're friends.
That sums everything up.
Yeah, that about sums it all up. Well, let's get into it then, Dave. You've seen the list. You've you know what's going on for this weekend. Your instant reaction on looking at the list of official visitors, even though most of them we've had a good idea who was going to be in this weekend.
Are we there?
We can hear you. We're just your video was in and out. Oh man, this isn't going to work, is it?
I mean, he could try from his phone. Wouldn't be the first time we had that happen.
you're you're like a you're like an AOL dial-up connection in 1993.
Oh my God!
I'm gonna need beer. Do you have your phone handy? Can you try your phone?
I'll text him.
Aaron, have you had a chance to look at it? Do I need to go over the visitor list while we're trying to work on things here?
In all fairness,
you have not seen the visitor list because you just got done with dinner.
I also wasn't aware I was going to have to be sitting in on the entirety of the podcast. So there's that.
All right, here we go. Are you ready, everybody? If you're one of the fortunate 35 people to be involved, Brady. Let's go with the committed guys first. Brady Drogish, Kamari Anderson, Jackson McGowan, Evan Tingestal, Trevor Carter, Rohan Davey, and Braden Moore are the committed guys that are going to be on campus this weekend. They're going to be doing their best sales job on 5 high-end official visitors that are going to be in town. 4-star Anthony Brown, the number 10 player in Ohio, 373 nationally, number 51 wide receiver.
It's like his 42nd visit to UC,
yeah, he's
right?
been on campus a lot. Brandon Solis, a 6'7.5", 270-pound offensive tackle. He goes to Lipscomb Academy. Lipscomb Academy. Does that sound familiar?
You know, it does. I believe that's where one Luther Richardson came from.
Yeah. So the personal protector for Luther Richardson, the left tackle, is going to be on campus for his official visit. And if we've talked a lot about like Mike Cummings has a type, right?
Right.
That's his type.
Well, and I want to share this picture because this doesn't make any sense to me. But this kid does not look in this picture to be 6'7.5" and 270.
Right. That looks like a wide receiver of sorts.
Right.
Like when you look at just like the neck and the face. Yeah.
Yeah.
6'7.5". 6'7.5". Not 6'7", not 6'8".
That would make him the tallest recruit.
6'7.5", 270 pounds, an 87 on 24/7 Sports, 86.4 in the composite. So he will be here. Jalen Thompson, 4-star, 198 nationally, number 2 player in the state of Michigan. Michigan State is perceived to have a lead there on this one. Cincinnati's going to have work to do. Cameron Calhoun, 3-star, just under an 87, number 19 player in the state of Ohio. And the other uncommitted prospect, Amari Snowden, number 345 nationally, number 7 player in the state of Michigan.
Weren't both of them here last weekend?
Snowden was here last weekend. Calhoun was here. Calhoun was here for camp on Thursday. Thursday, a week from today. And Snowden was here on Saturday. He came down. He had a bunch of his teammates camping at UC and came down with them and hung out on Saturday for that camp. Got to chop it up with Sauce a little bit. He already has a really long-standing relationship with Ahmad. As you know,
Michigan boys,
Michigan corner, you know, those two go pretty far back. So they hung out and chopped it up quite a bit during camp last Saturday.
Let's see how this goes.
He's back in the pool.
I think he's back.
How are we doing, boys?
This actually, this worked. This is the best we've done so far.
All right, let's rock and roll. I'm gonna have to hold this thing up, try not to get it wet.
Your lighting is bad, but other than that, the connection and the the audio are as good as we've seen so far.
Well, here, hold on.
Paul said can't see your face. That's probably an improvement.
For sure, Paul. You've seen it before, so you know. Hold on. We're gonna I think I can remedy this. I think I can get closer to the lights.
I mean, if you want to go from the pool and we can't see your face, it's fine.
Oh no, I can go from just a different part of the pool.
Oh, with the light from a different part of the pool.
I even got like a little step here. So how's this? Is this better?
Oh, that's perfect.
All right. I'm trying not to get everybody seasick. Moving back and forth, trying to get a comfortable spot here.
Unreal.
This is podcast ingenuity.
I mean, people expect the best from Bearcat Journal. Let me get my beer, my wine. All right, let's talk some fucking football.
Oh, we have like 50 people already here for this. This is outstanding.
I really hope the fun does end up in the pool, if I'm being honest.
So let's go, Dave. Thoughts on, we just went over the list of official visitors. What are your thoughts on what is essentially, I don't think essentially, I think ultimately the biggest official visit weekend in the history of Cincinnati football?
Yeah. I mean, what, 4 stars, several high 3 stars, guys that are being pursued by a who's who of programs, and then coming off of last week. Yeah. I don't know how you could say otherwise. I mean, we've had big ones in the past, obviously, the last couple of years. But,
right.
You know, these guys are all guys that I would think they feel pretty good about. Not saying that they'll all commit like they did last weekend while they're still on their visits and stuff like that. But definitely an exciting weekend, you know, and if you'd have to think that something's going to come of it, considering what all that happened last weekend. Would be a shocker if it didn't.
Right. I mean, I think you hit on a great point about this. This is not like a fishing for prospects, like just getting as many big names as you can and hoping you get some traction after the official visit. These are guys, and thank you to Tonk, $10 donation for Dave's hangover.
Oh, Tonk, you have no idea. Not happening, buddy.
No, for the hangover IV.
Oh, the IV following the hangover.
Hold on, I'm going to try to get something to prop this up so I don't have to hold it the entire time, because that's not going to work.
Where is Dave's shirt? I
was in a pool. I'm not that fat. I'm not going to wear a shirt in the pool.
Yeah, Ed, you wear shirts in the pool. Dave goes tops off in the pool.
That's right. I mean, I'm proud of this physique. Worked very hard at it, obviously. All right, that's much better.
All right, you've got something to hold the phone up.
Now I can like float around in the water. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh goodness. But anyhow, yeah, this is not like just trying to throw stuff against the wall and see what sticks. These are guys that they legit, you know, have put a lot of work in. These guys have all been to campus numerous times. Like, they've got a chance with these dudes. You know, Jalen Thompson might be difficult to get out of Michigan.
Sure.
As he's got a couple crystal balls from Michigan State, but like Amari Snowden, Anthony Brown, like Solis from Lipscomb Academy, which is the home of Luther Richardson. They've got a legit shot with all these dudes.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, good contribution. Appreciate that.
What, me? What's going on?
Nothing. You can expand on that a little bit. Just definitely is not great podcasting.
I said that in the intro. Like, they're not guys that you're just taking a flyer on because there's maybe a connection and they say, okay, I'll use one of my 5 visits, and it's not a serious thing. Like, they've been recruiting all of these uncommitted guys for a long time. So I would think that, for the most part, they're feeling pretty confident that they can land all of them maybe, and use last week as kind of the momentum of, hey, look, this class is filling up fast. We're not going to bring really, outside of maybe a couple guys in the rest of the summer on officials. And if this is your opportunity, if you don't, then, we might move on.
Right. I mean, that's the beauty of it, is you're kind of in a position of strength now. Like,
tow truck just floated by.
Is that Will's or yours?
Yeah, no, that's Will's dump truck. Yeah.
All right. You're in a position of strength because you're at 19 right now. Like, you don't need any more commits.
Yeah,
you can take all the commits, but at this point in time, like, it's June 9th, and you're almost at 20 commits that you feel really good about.
Yeah, I mean, they could take them all technically because that rule is not in existence anymore, but the 85 number still is. So it's not like they can just keep adding and adding and adding.
Yeah. Stu says he tunes into the podcast and I'm talking to a silhouette. What a hell of a silhouette that is.
I mean, where else would you rather be?
Peak male form.
That's right. living the life.
All of these visits are official visits. Like, we're in official visit season. Is that your dad in the background?
It is my dad in the background.
Yeah.
I'm in the pool. It's working now.
In the pool, it's working.
Gotta tell everybody.
These are all official visits at this point in time.
His dad.
It's like, David's doing the podcast in the pool. Come look at this shit. Oh, they're not excited about it. Good. I don't.
Well, if you've met Dave's dad, though, it's even funnier.
Hi.
Man.
Chad said hi.
Hey, Chad, how you doing?
We're doing. You have no idea how good we're doing right now.
Oh, I'd love a Jello shot. Are you kidding?
Oh man. The momentum you speak of. We are at what? 8, 9, 10. Are we at 11? 10, 11?
I think 10, right?
Yeah, Ty Perkins was 9.
He wasn't on the visit weekend though. I thought.
Yeah, but I mean, just in general, we had 8 over the weekend.
I've lost track.
Of what? The entire recruiting class?
No, just like
just the
how
last,
many guys like in the
Saturday.
last little bit have committed. Oh, he brought Pedro over. Let's see if we can get a good shot of Pedro the donkey. We had a Mexican fiesta last night for a birthday. Had a piñata. Had some floats in the pool.
Pedro, fortunately, was not the piñata. Lucky for Pedro.
No. We did put the piñata's head in my parents' bed like Godfather.
Did you hear over the past couple nights we've been talking about Kelly? I have invited Kelly, and Kelsey to the next Simone family summer vacation.
I mean, I don't honestly I'm not trying to brag or anything, but I don't know how everybody else does their family vacations, but this is not like most people. I mean, we got a house DJ. My brother DJs. He's brought all his equipment, so we're spinning records until 1, 2 o'clock in the morning. Light show. He tried to order a smoke machine. It's not getting here in time. So, but
so he's just gonna have a smoke machine that he didn't use for the vacation.
Yeah, I think he canceled it because he was having it delivered to Florida, and then he's got to go back to Tennessee Saturday. So I think he just canceled that. We got. This place has a full fridge outside that it was just full of beer. That's almost gone. Oh, thank you. Let me get this
When's
Jello
the foam
shot.
party?
I don't know. Maybe tonight. He downloaded like 4 hours worth of music to play, so we're gonna be up a while.
I mean, I'm not kidding. We've invited ourselves to next year's Simone family summer vacation.
House has plenty of room.
I love it. I think it was, I think 8, 9.
8 from the weekend, 9.
Was Perkins, and then Burns
10 was Burns, and then maybe some more.
We'll see what happens tomorrow evening, right around dinner time. See what happens. And then you go into the weekend, and you take 5 big swings. And essentially, you have 6 guys left on the board. Jermaine Matthews, Snowden, Thompson, Cam Calhoun, Anthony Brown, Solis, and then Malik LZ is another one. He had previous commitment with his 7-on-7 team that couldn't get him to town this weekend. I know you haven't had a lot of time to deal with this, Dave. Have you seen the reaction on LZ to on the Illinois boards?
No, not really. Honestly,
you would have. It would have been something that would have entertained you all week, because it's been. Cincinnati is getting the Alabama treatment from Illinois.
Oh,
does he really want to go to Cincinnati and be on a roster with all those studs? Or does he want to come here and be our number one guy? And
finish 4th in the Big Ten West? I don't know. What do you think he wants to do?
Well, somebody put on the board today. Let me see if I can somebody put on the board today. Bert Bielema's success recruiting wide receivers.
You somehow butchered both of his names right there.
Brett
Bielema.
Brett Bielema. Whatever.
How the fuck does that happen? I
was busy getting into my phone. Okay. Last year, Illinois averaged 156 yards passing per game, 10th worst in NCAA football. Yards per game average, 7th worst. He coached 12 years at Wisconsin and Arkansas. He only had 2 wide receivers drafted. Brett Hubbard, 6th round in 2008, a guy that was on the team when Brett Bielema got there.
Bert Bielema.
Yeah. And Nick Toon, who was in the 4th round in 2012. He had 0 wide receivers drafted in his 5 years at Arkansas. In the 5 years before he got to Arkansas, Arkansas had 5. Arkansas also didn't have a wide receiver drafted the 4 years after he left. That's how bad wide receiver recruiting was. They did get a guy drafted in 2012, a guy who was signed a year after Benny Billy left Arkansas.
Yeah, this
trying to get to the NFL, that is the worst possible path to take, is to go play for him.
Yeah, it really just comes down to do you want to play for the in-state school, which in Illinois, it's not like Ohio State or Alabama or Georgia or it's Illinois. They've had good years. But do you want to play for your state school, or do you want to play for a team that's perennial top 10 right now, and one that you have a really, that's the other thing. Even though that they're the state school, UC and Gino have been recruiting him way longer than Illinois has.
Right.
So they've built their relationship. Plus they have the, we just put a guy in the 2nd round. We just went to a wide receiver in the 2nd round. We just went to the playoff. We're going to the Big 12. Our offense is, yes, we're replacing an all-school, quarterback, but we still have a lot of talent. We're still going to be a top 25, 30 type total offensive team, so it really, I say it's not that hard, but we know how the pull of playing for your state, but like I said, this isn't like some program with, decades of success and tradition and everything. So, I don't see why they can't get him. They've gotten tons of good players from Illinois over the last 4 or 5 years.
Well, that's the thing you have to be able to say to them is look at the guys we've gotten from Illinois and look at the impact they've had here at Cincinnati. that isn't small time. That is significant. So we'll see. But they've got 6 or 7 big fish still left out there that they're swinging for the fences on. And this weekend's going to go a big way into telling the tale of how this class is finished, right? Or at least initially how this class is finished. Because here's the crazy part, Dave. Let's be honest with ourselves. If they miss on a lot of these guys, they get to reset and take a bunch of more big swings. Because they've only got 5 or 6 or 7, whatever it is, like a small number of spots left. Like, you're not casting a wide net.
Yeah, you're not necessarily having to go down your board a ton because it's December and you had an official visit weekend that you missed on for whatever reasons. Right. And now we got to scramble to get guys. You can still evaluate tape. I mean, shit. Let's be honest. Some of the guys that are currently committed, they might not be a part of this class after their season rolls around. I mean, that's a thing that happens. Let's be real. It's happened few and far between at UC, but it has happened.
Right. You're going to have a good senior season. Like that's the nature of the beast.
When your roster is loaded and doesn't have a ton of attrition and you've been as successful as they are, like you can't just commit and then coast your senior year. It's not right. It's not happening.
So I think your mom took a step out. And
she did. She said she saw Pedro, and then Pedro's kind of floated away.
Pedro's got a mind of his own.
You know, he does. He's shifty.
He might still be traumatized from watching you beat the hell out of that piñata.
His buddy Pepe took one to the kisser last night.
and then you took his head and put it in your parents' bed.
Put his head in my parents' bed.
So he's probably a little leery, I think would be the right word.
I wouldn't blame him.
Let's talk about the wave of commitments. You've been around a long time. Have you ever seen anything like what's happened over the past 6 days? Like,
no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. No, I mean to have basically like go. I mean, there's still some guys that are uncommitted, but right now there's like 90% or so.
Yeah.
From last weekend.
Oh, we got a cha-cha line.
We got a cha-cha line. Hey, buddy. Like my kid's still awake. That's great. And we got a conga line around the pool.
I mean, unless you're literally injecting melatonin into his bloodstream, how do you expect him to sleep right now?
No, I don't.
There's a Congo line going around.
Well, what are they doing? What are they doing, Will?
He's like,
He's got. Oh, we got Kiki.
Speaking of never having seen anything like it.
You know what? I think we can auction off like spots at the Simone family vacation.
Yeah, you pay for it. You're more than welcome to come. Hey, can I get another Jello shot?
We're literally like this is why we could never go to being an affiliated pod.
Oh yeah, like on the 24/7 pod. No way.
Yeah. That's a great point, Lamb.
Hi, buddy. Hi. Oh, you got your crane truck?
The podcast version is going to be terrible.
Right, because they're not going to have any visual representation of what's happening.
Yeah, I feel bad for those folks. Sorry.
So to do like the radio play-by-play version, what we just had happen was Dave's mom peeked her head out the door for a minute, and then she went back inside. She gathered up all the Simone family women, and they did a Congo line while Dave's toddler son came out and stood by the pool and watched.
Yeah.
And that looks like that outfit was from the.
Oh, thank you. Oh, that's a Bengals poncho.
Okay.
And I just got a dump truck full of Jello shots, so
A whole dump truck full of Jello
we're
shots.
we're good for a while.
What are you gonna do?
We're gonna talk sports when possible.
In all fairness, you were forewarned this would be Dave After Dark, and he is holding no bars.
Well, here's the other thing. Like the last 3 things we advertised as Dave After Dark was like Dave kinda After Dark. Right? Like you would come down from a game or like you weren't real Dave After Dark, UCLA Dave After Dark.
No. I think what was the last one? Was that SMU at their place? 2 years
When you
ago?
hit me up and we're like, or like the last real Dave After Dark.
Yeah. That one
Notre
wasn't
Dame,
even...
you were pretty chill. Like we thought Notre Dame was going to be a wild Dave After
Yeah,
Dark.
that one just took a while to like, because they didn't sell beer in the stadium.
Right.
And then it took a minute to get back to our house. So by the time I got back, got everything set up, and yeah, it wasn't quite the same as UCLA.
Aaron, do you have anything that you want to talk to Dave about as he hangs out in the pool and hammers Jello shots?
You got this.
You sure? Like we invited you in. Like
Look,
you can.
I'm here to help if need be, and I've been quietly sitting this one out. So I had to pop in when there's
Aaron's in like a state of bewilderment.
Yeah, for sure.
And several other emotions, I'm sure.
Well, I have to go to the potty, so you handle Dave for a minute.
Fair enough. I don't know if you heard the nightcap that we talked about culture and all of that. I'm assuming you probably aren't.
I have to admit, I haven't caught the nightcaps this week.
Yeah, color me shocked. But one of the things we brought up was just like the fact that all the guys that have been committing have talked about the brotherhood and have talked about the culture. And Chad's like, I kind of hate the culture word, but we have hit on just the fact that it's something that Luke and Brady instilled from the very beginning, and it's something that I don't think they even realized where it was going to grow to. And now all of a sudden you have Sauce coming back when he just got a chance last weekend just to come back, like for a guy who just got a $25 million signing bonus, just is like, I'm going back to Cincinnati to hang out for recruitment weekend. Like, I don't know. I mean, what are your thoughts on the way that this culture has kind of just taken on a life of its own, really?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, the culture word and term has become so, to me, just like not necessarily even overused, but like, what does that even mean anymore? Everybody wants good kids who like each other and are good students. Like, no one's like, yeah, I'm just out here trying to get a bunch of mercenary football players, and I don't care if they hate each other and leave transfer after 1 year. I'll just get some more dudes like that. Like, no one is saying that. So when the coach says culture, I don't even like consider thinking about what that means anymore. I think like instead of culture now, I would just say that this is just a unified program that totally fits what Coach Fickell and his staff, and even down to like the university and the city, like everybody, and granted, you're going to have 105, whatever number of kids, like there's always going to be one or two that aren't exactly buying in the way that you hope they buy in.
Sure.
But like, it's not culture anymore. It's just, it is what it is. It's
an
the
identity.
program. It's the program identity. It's the program style. It's the program, all of those things make it the UC culture. All that stuff was done at the beginning when he got here. And now you're picking players based on, yes, their athletic ability and yes, their scholastic ability, but I would want to say first and foremost, you're picking players on their program fit and all of the little things that go into making a player successful once he gets to college. is almost more important than just what they were able to do on the field in high school, because we all know what you did in high school does not predict how you're going to be as a college athlete. Like, there are so many more asks of you and requirements that are not part of a 17, 18-year-old high school kid's life. I mean, you go to school from 7:30 to 2:30 and you practice from 3 to 5 or something. Like, that is not, and I know high school football has evolved a lot, but they're not in the same realm. So you're looking for guys that you feel can come in and have that makeup to be successful above and beyond just, yeah, this guy can run fast, or he's a good wide receiver, he tackles a lot, has a lot of tackles or covers really well. I mean, that's obviously important. You're not going to get a look if you can't do those things. But not every kid that can do those things is a fit for what UC is now.
Right. One of the things I said, I likened it to kind of what Zach Taylor has done with the Bengals, in that, like, Fickell's bringing in leaders, he's bringing in winners, he's bringing in guys that have proven it on and off the field. Zach Taylor's kind of done the same thing, and just the fact that he's brought in captains for winning collegiate programs. You know what I mean? Like, so I just see a lot of parallels in the way that they're kind of both formulating their team identity.
For sure. You're looking for guys that love ball, that don't love ball because of what it brings them. And I know it's a little bit different college to pro.
Sure.
But, like, if you don't love ball in college, like, and having to go to school and having to go to practice and having to go to meetings and doing all of those things, like, you're just not going to make it. You're not, unless you're just an uber talent, like, you're not going to be a successful player. And, I'm not saying that the staff takes lesser talents, but guys that fit that mold, I don't think that they necessarily would do that. But I'm sure it's a tiebreaker on guys that are similar talent, where you might take the guy that maybe is just an inch too short or a tenth of a second slower than what you want, but that this guy will be all in on what you're trying to do and really, embrace the college experience, embrace the way that you have this program going right now.
So is there anybody thus far of what you've read when the kids have been interviewed after they've committed, anything that they've said, even through some of the videos or anything like that, anybody that stands out to you as a guy that you're really excited to see what they can do once they step foot on campus at this point?
I mean, it's hard for me to, I know I've kind of, like, bits and pieces this week,
Sure.
read everything, but nothing necessarily stands out. I just think, like, the Kamari Barnes commitment is an important one for me, just because of the positional need.
Right.
More along the lines of a Myjai Sanders type edge rusher, and someone that they had been in on for a while, that we felt back in March maybe was, like, close to committing. Then some, quote unquote bigger schools started showing interest, and then they were able to host him last week and get a commitment. Of course, it's only June. Like, these kids are, in my opinion, more than welcome to take other visits. I would never discourage someone from doing that. You need to find every experience you can and see how that then compares to UC. I'd prefer that if you're going to do that you stay uncommitted, but that's for the coaching staff to worry about, not us, how they handle that. But I mean, we'd be fools if we didn't think that as these guys committed, that other schools are not now going to be going after them even harder. That's the way it works in college football. For whatever reason, in college basketball, when you commit, you're kind of like hands off. College football, when you commit, it's almost like a signal goes up to, like, all right, now we know this guy's super good or whatever because they took his commitment, and now we really need to start going after him, because if UC wants him, then that's a player we should also want.
I guess one of the things that stood out to me was when James Jenkins was quoted on saying about his conversation with Coach Cummings, and he's like, I'm not going to be your new old man best friend.
Yeah, I do remember that one, and it did stand out because it's like that's a very O-line coach thing to say. First off, because O-line coaches are intense. That's a prerequisite for the job. But yeah, are we getting ready to start the Techno show? All right, sounds good. Just tell me when I need to end. I don't want to get in the way of the family DJ show.
Yeah, and we don't want to get copyright striked by YouTube in the process.
Yeah, but aren't all those songs like already been sampled by 1,700 different people? And
I don't know. It's just an algorithm that YouTube uses that they check to like if it picks up any song that is to be striked, then they unmonetize.
Well,
they take away
I'll get off here because you won't be able to hear me anyway. So
right. That's
it would be pointless.
I think the thing for me is like you're at a point right now where like if a kid comes in and doesn't vibe with this roster, like the players on the team and like doesn't like sorry man, you don't fit. Like
you don't have to take him no matter what.
Right. Like
get out. Get out.
Because I'm around these guys on a regular basis. You couldn't find a better group of 18 to 22-year-olds to like want to spend your college experience with. Like, and that goes like from the new guy, JQ Hardaway, to Trey Tucker, and to Tyler Scott, and Evan Prater, and Josh Wiley, and like I got there late at camp today because I had to do radio for Mo. Camp went from 4 to 7. I got there at like 20 after 6, and Wiley was working with the tight ends. And I walked up and tried to like bear hug him. And next thing I know, I'm in a wrestling match with Josh Wiley.
Yeah.
And I was like, wait, I don't want to be part of this. No.
So I told you, Chad, my girl's nephew was also at camp today.
Yeah.
And she got there and she's like, I'm really having trouble finding a vending machine. I just need something to drink. And she said some of the guys working at the table just got up from the table. She said she thought they were athletes in the program, but she said they got up from the table. They went to their dorm room and brought her back 2 waters.
Sounds about right.
You know what I mean? Like that speaks. She was like, I couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
Pedro's back.
Oh, Pedro's. Oh, hey, Pedro. You're just at a level where you're like, okay, even if like, I mean, maybe I'm being a little over exaggerative, but like,
not really.
If the number 1 player in the country was like, I want to come here, but he was like a total shithead, like, would they take him?
Depends on the position.
You're right.
Right, but that's what I mean. Like,
Rush Hen probably.
But that's what I'm saying. It's like, but it's a conversation.
Right.
Where most places would be like, yeah, we'll take him. We'll figure it out. Where I feel like UC's like, yeah, just we're not going to mess up what we have going on. Oh, Pedro nosedive.
We'll get into a lot more like once you get back, and I'm sure. But I wanted to get into so today 24/7, and this enrages me. 24/7. Did you see all this today?
I did. It just makes me laugh because I know it makes other people so mad.
But how lazy do you have to be to still have that take when you're talking about like that makes you look bad?
Well,
when
I don't know the take. You
okay.
might want to. There's 50 people listening that may not know the take that you speak of as well.
So Luke Fickell, 24/7 voted Luke Fickell the number 5 coach.
Well, no, weren't they commenting on the Sporting News?
Sporting News put him as number 5 in the country. Brad Crawford, who does a lot of the national desk stuff for 24/7, who I've complained about relentlessly for a long time.
Well, that's the thing.
He just writes the same lazy shit constantly.
That's why I look at the source and I laugh because it's the same thing that's happened for. I mean, you could just go back to any list from the last 4 years. They're great. Luke's going to leave. Can't wait. Imagine when he could do it at this type of school. Like, it's just the same thing. So, like, I give it literally zero credence whatsoever. So
I know, but here's what's infuriating. Here's his take. There's a reason why Fickell is the first name to surface for major job vacancies. Yeah, because he's a great fucking coach. given his success in such a short time frame at Cincinnati. We're at 5 years. We're at 5 fucking years, Dave. This is not a short time frame.
I mean, he's going to be like a top 30 tenured coach in college football.
Yeah. He'll be leading a major program very soon. Hey, guess what, jackass? He's leading a major program right fucking now. Right now.
Yeah.
He's already leading a major program.
I guess the program that goes to the playoff isn't major just because of the conference that they're in.
As his ascension as one of the nation's top coaches continues, Fickell's a 3-time AAC Coach of the Year and became the first Group of 5 head coach to lead his program to a playoff berth last season. He's posted back-to-back perfect regular seasons, and player development is an obvious strength. Imagine what Fickell could do at a program with more resources and a top 10 recruiting class. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Imagine what he could do.
My favorite take today was on Twitter when it was UCF fans talking about how their class is already better than ours because of their average draft or average recruit.
Yeah, rating.
I'm like,
yeah, okay, great, whatever.
Okay.
Let's see what your average rating is when you're at 19 recruits. My guess is it's not higher than what Cincinnati is at right now. It's so
right.
I fought this back. It's so lazy.
Right. That's the thing, is that it is maddening because of the laziness of it. Like, if you have a take that is new and we don't agree with, that's one thing. But like,
right. But you've just said the same shit for 4 years.
Like, the guy has literally
been true in 4
the guy has literally
years.
said the same thing
for 4 years
since the first 11-3 season.
This was the biggest churn in blue blood head coaches, maybe in the history of college football, in 1 year. And you know where Luke Fickell is coaching next year? Cincinnati. Where's he going to go?
You know, like, you're not going to have a whole lot of years where schools on the caliber of LSU, Notre Dame, and USC all open up at the same time.
Oklahoma.
And Oklahoma.
Texas. Didn't Texas just
No, that was 2 years ago.
2 years. Whatever, but all of these major programs have just opened. And Luke Fickell's not coaching any of them. Who's left? Brad Crawford?
Maybe he can come on the next BCJ pod.
I dare you.
I'll reach out this week just to see if I get a response.
Are we ready to go independent? You guys coming with us? Like, if we have him on the podcast, independent might be the next step, because I don't know that I'll be able to behave myself.
Well, then we probably shouldn't do that.
Well, I mean, come on, man. You've had the same take for 5 years.
No, I don't disagree.
Everybody's had the same take for 5 years. I can't wait to see Luke Fickell leave Cincinnati. Well, guess what? Luke Fickell's staying in Cincinnati, and he's taking Cincinnati to the place that you keep saying he should leave for. I talked about this on the radio today. We've never seen anything like this in the city. We'll never see anything like it again. He's taking nothing and turning it into something sustainable and nationally relevant. And you don't get to say Brian Kelly, because Brian Kelly never cared about taking this to somewhere sustainable.
No, he took it to where he needed to take it to then move on, which was fine.
Right.
Like, that's fine.
I'm okay with that. More power to him.
I had a hell of a time back in those years. I'm not mad about that at all. Like,
but he doesn't get to be compared to Luke Fickell anymore because it's been done differently.
Fickell's also taking recruits from those places that he's supposed to be going to.
Yeah. Like Penn State. Like, Luke's going to go to Penn State. Guess what? Penn State's presence in Ohio isn't what it used to be.
No. I mean, Michigan has very little presence in state. Penn State has some, but not much. I mean, it's Ohio State, Notre Dame,
and Cincinnati,
Kentucky.
Even Kentucky has less of a presence in state than they did 3-4 years ago.
Right.
West Virginia.
Yeah. West Virginia is going to pop on a couple kids. Yeah. But what they just learned with Cam Calhoun. They got Cam Calhoun before he had a Cincinnati offer. Now he's got a Cincinnati offer. We know where that thing's trending.
If UC really wants a kid, they're not getting him over UC.
Right.
Agreed.
So, all right. Do you want to hang around to talk some little birdie stuff, or?
How much time will you want? No, it's up to you. 15 minutes? Yeah, it's up to you. When do you want to start? Can you turn the lights on?
We're going to get a light show here for the last few minutes?
Cut some light show for the last few minutes. I can't see any of the comments.
That's all right.
They're pretty quiet right now.
Okay, I hope I'm not. I hope I'm not disappointing.
No, you've been.
No, you're not.
Four comments since 10 o'clock. We're doing okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can.
What are your thoughts on Brandon Sosna to the Lions?
My thought is I can't wait to see where USC is in a year.
That Brandon was very much.
I mean, let's be real. Like we're talking amongst friends here.
Yeah,
Brandon,
no one's listening.
Brandon hired Luke. Brandon hired Lincoln Riley. Let's be real.
Yeah, factual. That is as fact. I can confirm that is factual information. That's a big blow to USC. So I guess my question now is, Dave, the ultimate path for Brandon Sosna is an NFL GM. So let's again. He's 29. He hired Luke Fickell when he was like 24 years old. He's 29 years old. He's going to a job that is one step under a general manager in the NFL.
I mean, I don't know. Is his job more GM or is it more like CEO?
It's a great question.
Either way.
Question.
Like I feel like
kudos.
this job is more on the CEO side.
But I think it's grooming to be a GM.
Like not the day-to-day roster side of things, but like the overall functionality of the entire organization.
Yeah, but I mean, they're not grooming him to be the owner.
No, but they're owners.
President of football operations.
They're also owners, also like 100 years old. So,
so maybe he's gonna be the owner.
And I think she was married to the guy that
invented the
car.
Joey Votto wants what you're having, which is a lot. Jello shots, beer, fine wine. Italian wine.
Yeah, I got a couple Jello shots left, actually. Better get those taken care of before I sign off here.
Who discovered Brandon Sosna?
So I've known Brandon since he was 12. He was a ball boy for Mick Cronin. His dad and his uncle are both prominent UC boosters. And Brandon kind of worked his way up through there. He went to Penn, Ivy League educated. He would come home in the summer and work internships in the athletic department at UC. One was for Whit Babcock. And then Whit Babcock recommended him to Mike Bone. And then Mike Bone brought him in. He quickly went from intern to chief of staff, or I don't remember what his title was. Then he went to the Browns, worked for the Browns in salary cap, came back to UC, and then left with Bone when Bone went to USC.
So fair to say a little bit of who you know, a little bit of just coming from money, a little bit of working his ass off.
Yeah.
Everything is who you know now.
Yeah. If you know the right people and you work your ass off, guess what?
Good things
go pretty well for you, right?
Yeah.
Like and I will say, I'll give Brandon credit on one major thing. He walked in. He watched Sauce's first higher ground for like 90 seconds. And it was right after he came back from the Browns. He watched Sauce for like 90 seconds. He said, that's a high-level NFL cornerback. And me and Justin Williams looked at him like, that dude's 130 pounds soaking wet. Relax, bro.
You have no idea what you're talking about.
You have no idea what you...
Guy that used to work for the Browns. Look at us. We're just standing out here, slappies, just covering a college football team.
Hey, how much different, though, is the NFL draft if he's already a part of the Detroit Lions organization 3 months ago?
Yeah, maybe a lot. But he's headed there now. And I love Brandon. Brandon has been intern to doing Bones job for him. No comment. Brandon has been a great friend for a long time. We had dinner at the Cotton Bowl. We bump into each other. I'm actually kind of upset. I'm hoping he's still in LA in 10 days when we get out there so I can, catch up with him before he heads to Detroit.
I mean, you could just call up the boner.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I will. My relationship with Mike Bone was great.
I'm sure he's got some stories to tell.
Are you going to do your Mike Bone impression for Mike Bone, though?
Oh, I've done it before. You know me, Aaron. When have I ever been bashful about anything?
Everyone was thinking it.
Hey, so happy for Brandon. He's going to do a great job in Detroit. I'm not shy. Like Mike knows. I've got a great relationship with Mike. Brandon is just a star. I know Dave likes to have a lot of fun with Mike, and I do too, but he did what he should have done. That's a lot of ADs would never have, allowed Brandon to be Brandon in those roles because their ego's too big to get in the way. Mike was like, this guy's amazing. Do your thing, bro.
I liked Mike at Higher Ground because Mike would tell stories to people that had no business hearing the stories that he was telling.
Sounds about right.
Oh my God. What are you doing with Pedro?
Oh, he's getting ready for the Techno Show.
Okay.
So did you guys see the tweet I sent to John Cunningham and Anthony DeFino today?
Yes.
How awesome would you do that?
I missed it.
Please explain.
So the RBC Canadian Open golf tournament this week up in Canada has this wild thing that a crane lifts this massive platform up over the golf course, and you sit up there and you have a bartender and you sit in these chairs around the bar, elevated 100 feet above the golf course. And I just sent it to them and said, hello at John Cunningham, at Anthony DeFino. We need a platform hovered over Nippert where I can watch the game while drinking from up there. What kind of sponsorship deals can come of that?
I want no part of it.
What it looks like is one of those. What it looks like is one of those pedal things that they ride around Nashville for bachelorette parties, attached to a crane and lifted 150 feet in the air. That's essentially what it is.
So where would you put that? Over
Nippert. Dave would put it.
Over the field. Just over the field.
You wouldn't be able to see anything.
He doesn't care.
The point is to be in that situation. You could see the Jumbotron.
Hey, David, Pedro, we're going to Culver's. You want anything?
No, I'm good. Thank you.
No, he had enough veal parm tonight to...
Dude, it was insane. I ate half of it. There was 2 pieces the size of your head. It was ridiculous.
My head is gigantic.
Yeah. I'll send you a pic later of the leftovers.
Did you eat one?
I ate one piece and some of the pasta, and we had an antipasta platter that was on a platter the shape of the country of Italy.
Tiger is not a fan. He's very upset about the veal. Easy, buddy. You want some veal? You want some veal parm?
I understand. He's sticking up for his fellow animal. Well, the 5 Jello shots are now gone. The beer is empty, and the bottle of wine
cashed.
Do you have any quick questions about Basketball Open Gym before you go?
None whatsoever.
Sounds
Okay,
about right.
then get the hell out of here and enjoy the last. What do you call it? What's it called?
Club Canopy.
Club Canopy.
Yeah, we're gonna shut this place down. I think the first night of Club Canopy, the neighbors wanted to,
Murder you?
stomp our faces in, but they have since left. There's some new neighbors now. We've tried to get the cops called on us because apparently there's a noise ordinance until 10 that starts at 10 p.m. So we've tried to get the cops called on us. The other 3 nights of Club Canopy, this one might do it.
Are the neighbors partying with you?
No, they're not. They should be if they knew what kind of party this was.
So, Dave, the people want you to end your portion of this show with a cannonball.
Well, okay, hold on. I gotta move my phone so it doesn't get soaked.
Okay.
And I will do that.
I want to know where.
Can you have your brother hold it?
Oh, there's the light show.
Drew, come here. They
Thank
want
God he
you.
has shorts on because it doesn't look like he does.
I do. They want you to hold
For this family, Chad.
They want you to hold the phone and get me doing a cannonball.
What's up?
You can do that. No problem.
All right, you ready? 1, 2, 3.
And with that, bye, Dave. Love you.
No.
See you, bud. I don't have any words.
People want Dave After Dark.
That they do. That
You want
they
Dave
do.
After Dark. You get Dave After Dark.
I love that Stewie and Chelsea are literally watching from 2 different devices.
Yeah. Well, they are. Yeah. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Ed wants to party with Dave.
No, he doesn't.
Oh my God.
No, he doesn't.
Ed.
No, he
Dave
doesn't.
would destroy you. You would be in the ground in a heap.
I don't
if
know.
You partied with Dave.
I like to consider myself fairly fluent in party, and I don't know that I could hang with
It's
Dave.
a lot.
It's a lot. I mean, that's all I can say is it is something significant.
I don't disagree, Chelsea. That wasn't a spectacular cannonball. You also have to keep in mind that during the time that we were on the show, I believe there were 7 total Jello shots, half a bottle of wine, and God knows how good that wine was or wasn't, and at least a beer, if not multiple.
I think he said 5 Jello shots, 2 or 3 beers, and half a bottle of wine.
Chelsea, old you might have been able to kill it with Dave. I don't know that new you could hang with Dave either. Let's be honest. I don't know that I'd kill it is the phrasing that you want to use on that. Ed, I agree. It is hard.
It's hard.
But I'm not a lightweight. Get the F out of here.
I'm not saying you're a lightweight.
No. Ed did in the chat.
No. Ed, I'm not saying you're a lightweight. I'm saying Dave is at a professional level.
I'm going on record saying Ed is a lightweight. Like, let's be all the way real.
I don't know that for a fact. Like, I can't.
I do.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just saying I can't speak to that.
He brought
100%.
He brought the Ed slander on himself.
I mean, that's fine.
Get out of here. So now that Dave's gone, is this basically a nightcap? Is what we're being asked here?
No, we'll go live here and then we'll do a nightcap afterwards. The content game is brutal. I tried to get you to do a nightcap before we did this.
You did. I was eating.
No.
Splash.
This job is hard. It's hard. This job is hard.
It's hard.
It's like playing in the Big 12. It's hard.
It's hard. Traveling's hard.
That was great content. I can't believe YouTube is free.
I know what I'm allowed to say, but I know that there's also been a lot of them in this episode, and we get dinged if there's too many in one episode. I'm trying to use it when necessary, and it wasn't entirely necessary there. You still got what I was saying.
That's what we learned in YouTube school. is you can say fuck, you just can't say fuck too much.
See, now we've
used 2 of them.
We've used 2 for the next 30 minutes. Now we're on an F timeout.
Oh man, everybody wants Dave After Dark until they get Dave After Dark.
I don't know. I was not disappointed.
No, it was unbelievable. He propped his phone up on the side of the pool and he just heard water treading.
I just wish everyone could have seen. No, it's not a problem if you put it in the chat too much.
Yeah, you can say in the chat all you want. It's the only problem.
You can be Cartman in the chat for all they care. No one cares. It's just in the audio format. But yeah, no, I just wish everybody could have seen the setup and what we went through in trying to get it set up, because I think that was as hilarious as everything that ensued thereafter. Including,
there was 3 iterations that happened before we got Dave with his phone in the pool.
How do you do a show when there's a Congo line going on around the entire pool? I've never in my life been. We did a 15-hour show, Chad, you and I don't know how to handle a Congo line.
With his toddler son standing there watching the women of the Simone family Congo line, led by his mom, who came outside and was like, "Is Dave podcasting yet? Okay, Congo line."
When in Rome. This might be the funniest comment of the entire show thus far. The ASMR.
Go ahead.
The ASMR of water while on the subject of the bone zone will be fuel for the imagination on the podcast. For years, actually. For years.
Forever.
You're welcome. And this is free. To go back to a previous comment. This is all free.
Oh, my face hurts.
Unbelievable.
Open gym last night. Little birdie. It's little birdie time here on the BCJ podcast. We probably could have saved this and just.
Well, hang on. Let's at least get a sponsor.
Yeah, we got a timestamp. We got to get a timestamp in. Give me a second. Oh boy, that was a lot. It was only an hour, and given the scope of how we do things, an hour is not very long, but that hour was a lot.
Felt like a lifetime.
If you ever have an hour like that and you're curious to explore what lies beyond standard craft beer, take a trip to Urban Artifact. They don't make beer, they make fruit tarts.
What a transition.
Come see what the world of real fruit has to offer after watching Dave in the pool. Swing by Urban Artifacts, Northside Tap Room, and mention Bearcat Journal. Get $2 off a flight of 4 tasters. My goodness.
Yeah.
Dave just sent me a link that said, if anyone wants to listen to our DJ show tonight, with the link to the live.
Is he setting up his own StreamYard?
Should I post the link in the chat?
I mean, why not? Or tell him to tweet it. Just tweet it.
No.
Because we'll lose people going to check it out from here.
That's probably true.
Just
after we're done, go listen to the live set from the Simone family. Oh my goodness. Here we go. I'm gonna turn this audio down while the ads play. Goodness gracious. All right, there's the chat.
Also, Scotty, if you're watching, without me spending my own money currently, there is no Urban Artifact here in Athens. And I believe Brent in Indiana is also running into the same issue.
Yeah, there you go. Did it work?
Yep.
I think that's how you get to the live set.
/ASL, like in old AOL chat rooms.
Right. Yeah.
/ASL.
That's how you get to the Simone family set list.
You have to You have to give your ASL. You have to give your ASL, and then you get the.
Oh my god. So here's the important birdie news from last night. One team was undefeated, 8-0. They didn't lose, Aaron.
I'm gonna guess Landers Nolly team.
Wrong.
Oh,
wrong.
We have a new contender.
David Julius.
Go on.
Micah Adams Woods.
Okay.
Josh Reed.
I know you were impressed with him last night.
Jalen Stowe, who was a GA.
The birdie was impressed.
The birdie, no, that was straight up me. I put that. And Odi Aguama.
Oh, Stowe was playing with them though.
Yeah, so Stowe played with them. You a big Stowe fan there? I know he's pretty good, right, buddy?
He doesn't like when the GAs play.
Yeah. So I talked to somebody today. Get out! Hey, get out! Or shut up. One of the two. Hold on a second.
Yep. This is me filibustering. For those who don't know, there were little birdies in for open gym last night, and Chad's back.
So yeah, I just had to let him out of it. He had trapped himself into my office.
I wasn't going to leave 10 seconds blank.
Yeah. So I was told the reaction of the coaching staff today when told that's how things went was, well, that's not good because Stowe stinks. And he can't, like, if we're any good, he can't be on a team that won 8. Which was obviously just having fun with Stowe.
The way he runs his mouth, you would never believe that he stinks.
No, he does not stink. Like,
all right.
He actually, like, if you're gonna win, he's the guy that does a lot of the dirty work shit needed to win.
He's a talker though.
No, he is. He doesn't stop talking.
Is he a talker?
Kyle Washington thinks Jalen Stowe talks a lot.
A man of few words, Kyle Washington.
Yeah, Kyle didn't say much at all. He never really says anything. But Dave DeJulius was incredible. Mike Adams Woods was really, really good. And I predicted from just watching yesterday, and obviously I've seen Josh Reed a lot between AAU and then like him now getting to campus. Josh Reed's going to score 1,000 points at UC.
You mentioned,
and I think that's a low estimate. He's just wired to score. Like he knows how to get to the rim. He knows how to get fouled. Like obviously in an open gym setting, you're not shooting free throws. Like you're not, that's not how it goes. But like, that's just a kid that knows how to play offense. And that's been such a challenge for this university for the longest time.
Was any of it like back to the basket, or was it?
No, it was ball in his hands. He's not a big man.
Well, I mean,
he plays more like a 3. Like,
okay.
I don't know that he can guard a 3 yet, which means he'll probably have to start at the 4. But offensively, his game is a 3. It is driving to the rim. It is crafty with the ball. It is banging. He banged multiple wide open 3s. Like if you get him the ball and he's open, he's going to knock the 3 down. Like he's just got a knack for scoring.
Now, on the flip side of that, and I think this is probably what helped get that team to 8-0, is he can also defensively play with just about anybody on this team who's trying to go back to the basket, correct?
He's strong enough. He displayed a lot of what I've talked about when talking about his defense, in that there is a Jaron Cumberland style to it because he just anticipates really well. He's playing down a position or 2 from where Jaron played for the most part. Although we did see Jaron become really, really good at guarding the 4s. How many years? I don't know. I didn't put a cap on that. I simply said he's going to score 1,000 points. I don't know how long it's going to take him.
There's going to be a lot of hands wanting that ball.
Right. But he's going to be 1,000 point scorer just because he's so reliable. He's so steady and he just gets the job done. And that's generally a lot like how those guys work. Right. And then, after the middle of their junior year, like, shit, he's already scored 1,000 points. Like that's kind of my projection for him, is that he knows how to put the ball in the basket. And you can't ignore that, because that's, as long as you're sound defensively and you know what you're doing and you're not a liability, you get things done. How does it doesn't, Ed? It's two completely different things.
Disregard Ed.
I tried to, did you see the group text today? How I tried to explain to Ed 7 times what's happening, and he just didn't understand any of it. I tried, Aaron. I tried. That's your boy. Get your boy.
Yeah, you have to know how to speak, Ed. You have to speak in run-on sentences and broken grammar and forget words, letters.
I thought I was actually pretty funny.
I agree
about that exchange, and he missed all of it. He's like, "Okay, let me know." It might help that those guys are all in town, that all of those guys are in town for the alumni game around the same time, but it's two completely. Yes, Ed. I talked about the person promoting a Kane Brown concert.
Let's get back to the little birdies instead of a topic that we weren't talking about.
Ed. Can we
do a show? Can we do a show?
How's that?
5 minutes. You're in timeout.
Put Ed in timeout for 5 minutes.
He's just going to switch to Twitch.
I know. I just think there's a natural flow to Josh Reed's game that's going to translate really, really well to college, because guys like him are remember last year when we were watching those 6-7 guys that could kind of play inside and out,
all of Houston,
25 points a game on you, right?
All of Houston, all of Memphis, for that matter.
Right. So it's I just like where that's going, and we haven't even seen Dan yet.
I just wonder how many times commentators are going to compare this Cincinnati squad trying to replicate what Houston and Memphis have done. I can see that happening repeatedly over the course of the season.
Yeah. So you want to hear the funniest part of last night? So they were picking teams, and DeJulius and Nolly and Finnessy were standing there kind of deciding who was going to play with who, and they were making sure they were evening out the matchups, a big on a big, a 4 on a 4.
So just to make sure that I'm understanding, so there were 3 teams, and they were each
No. Well, there were 3 teams, but they weren't the captains of the 3 teams. They were just kind of. Usually, what happens is you decide on who the first 2 teams are, and then the 5 guys left over are the third team.
Okay.
They don't get to make that decision. So the 3 of them were kind of deciding on who the first 2 teams were going to be. And they were trash talking a little, just messing around with each other. And Fennessy and Nolly were on the same team, and Dave was going to be going against them. And Nolly was like, "Look, man, I don't care. We'll just double team you like we did last year at Memphis. Nobody else here in this gym can fucking score." It's wow.
Huh.
But remember how we were talking about that last year?
Yeah.
About how teams figured out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't a secret, but I mean,
no,
just to come out and say that to your new teammates,
right.
Shots fired.
But and Dave just laughed, was like, bro, he was like, man, that was a bitch.
What are you going to do?
Right?
Hey, here's the thing though. They almost beat them.
Right? Twice. Really?
And I know almost
Neither
only
of those
counts
games are blowouts.
Almost only counts in handguns and hand grenades, but
yeah. But it was
and horseshoes, whatever the
hand grenades and horseshoes.
Yeah, there we go.
Handguns.
You can be close. Trigger word. I didn't mean.
You can be close on handguns and still win, Aaron. Handguns. That's kind of how handguns are designed.
Anyway,
Josh wasn't on Nolly much, I don't think. I'm trying to remember. It was mostly, you know who was mostly on Nolly or on Josh Reed?
I don't.
Walker Miller. Some couple great comments that I'll get to here in a minute. But Walker Miller, Wes's brother, is in town, and he was running open gym with the team from time to time. He was, one of the teams that was vanquished by Josh Reed every other game. The other one, Kalu Ezekbe, was on Josh a lot.
Did he fare better against him this time around? Because it sounded like he held his own until he didn't last time.
I thought Kalu got the better of Josh last time.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's
he fared better defensively. But Kalu is strong, man. Like that kid is strong. Josh ain't. He ain't 4 years in college. Strong
one's a freshman. One is
right. Sure.
On his final year.
So Walker guarded him quite a bit and was actually really complimentary. He was like, can he really shoot the three like that? Because he had made a bunch of threes. And it was like, yeah, that's part of his game. And he was like, I left him open a couple times and he passed the ball. And was like, well, I think it was a matter of he's still incorporating himself into not being a ball hog. And especially like I said, Dave and Micah were hot. So it was feed them the ball. Paul, this is actually kind of important. They play full court, standard, but to 7, 1 point for 2-pointers, 2 points for 3-pointers. So the games move fairly quick. If you're playing with a team sitting off the court, you want to get on and off pretty quick. Like you don't want a guy. You don't want to get playing a game to 20. You got a bunch of guys that are sitting over there for 20 minutes, and they're on their phones. Like
you don't want to get cold. Like
get cold and disinterested is another like.
Yeah.
No, they play to 7, and they play by ones, and it's not make it take it. It is full court basketball. It is we score, you take it out, bring it up, like call your own. No, I understand why you asked. I'm just explaining. Like call your own fouls. I thought there was going to be a fight at one point because CJ Anthony tried to chuck up a desperation 3 at the end of the shot clock and then called a total bullshit foul. And everybody was screaming at him like, man, come on. There's 1 second on the shot clock. You're not calling somebody reaching in with 1 second left on the shot clock.
Nobody was like, you can't make that call walk on.
Right. Well, CJ's he's not really considered a walk on. Like he's got the respect of the team.
All right.
He doesn't really have that. The kid scored 2,700 points in high school.
That's a lot.
Yeah. He's not your typical, shut up, walk on type person.
All right.
I don't know. Any questions you got? I've rambled on for 20 minutes. Dave was, there's a manager that works the clock. The kind of the lead manager works the clock.
Again. Who was the biggest shit talker?
It's always going to be Nolly and JD. They were on the same team,
and still,
and went 0 for 4. Couldn't get a win.
Oh wow,
that's how good that group. They played 8 games.
Well, so
they won 8. After the 8th win, everybody was just done.
I guess I want to go a little bit more into that. How did the two of them play together on the court?
It's hard to tell because they didn't get a chance to play much together on the court because they kept losing.
Were they losing because of
they were
defense?
losing because the other guys were hotter than
just spraying? Okay.
They were just like they were moving the ball. They were taking open shots. They were hitting open shots. Micah was doing a really good job driving to the lane and finishing with strength and confidence. Odie was outworking everybody on the glass.
Yeah.
And Stowe was talking shit.
Well, but I think that there's a lot to take away there as far as Micah being a leader at the point guard position, with Odie sounding like he's maybe taking a step forward if called upon to play some expanded minutes this year.
Sure. What I would also say, Aaron, like these are open gym runs.
We're putting as much as we can into takeaways from open gym.
You are notorious for like when you see or hear these things that they're like concrete. It's just random Wednesday night open gym. Like it, you know how when you used to go play basketball with your friends.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean much.
It always did, because I was always the worst. Shouldn't be any surprise.
But right now, it's all we've got. So we're going to talk about it. That's all.
So Odie was playing the 5 then? Was he knocking around with Kalu as well?
Well, Kalu was playing mostly the 4 because I think either Vic or Sage was on his team.
How was Sage this week?
He's a lot farther along than I thought he was going to be, man. He's got a nice touch around the rim. He can shoot it. He had 2 threes that didn't go in, but looked competent. You know what I mean? Like it didn't look like, oh boy, hey, quit shooting, bro. It didn't look like that. It looked like like he's got some potential to knock down a 3. I thought he looked good. Like he still needs to get stronger. That's inevitable. He got, I think at times, surprised by how athletic Odie is, how quick he gets off the floor. You know, second time, third time, if balls are batted around and up in the air or whatever. I think that surprised him a little. But he looks pretty good, man. He looks a lot better than I thought he was going to look this early in his process.
Now, you talked about how pure Hensley's shot looks after some of the changes he had to do given his offseason. How was he looking?
He's not back. He'll be back. Apparently next week he'll be back.
Okay.
Full contact.
Okay.
Apparently same with John Newman. So that would be all 12 guys back on the floor. And then Skilling should be getting in at some point in time next week. So that's all 13. I will tell you this. I do not envy Wes Miller and his staff.
Well, it's a very different position than what they were in last year, trying to figure out where to even get guys minutes, because who were you going to give the minutes to, right?
So think about it like this, Aaron.
It's the same problem, just very different reasons.
It's not it's the exact opposite problem. Remember how we continued to harp on last year? They lack length, they lack athleticism.
Yeah. Well, okay, so let me rephrase it then. We had too many minutes last year for the guys that we had.
Yes, now there's not enough. It's the exact opposite problem. Think about it like this. There are only going to be 2 guys on this roster under 6'5". Dave and Micah. And that's it. And Rob. Sorry, and Rob.
Like I said,
Rob's 6'3", you know.
You're kind of replicating what Houston and Memphis did. And you saw the success that those programs have had over the course of the last 2-3 years by doing this. And now you even stole one of the guys from one of the best guys from Memphis. From one of those teams. And I can't see that as a bad thing.
No, it's what Wes wants. He wants length, athleticism, and the ability to change defenses and pressure you in different ways and make you uncomfortable. And the best way you're able to do that is with guys that are long, athletic, and versatile.
So give me 4 threes and a 5. Let's go.
A 1, 4 threes, and a 5. That's Aaron's take. Anything with Vic?
Yeah.
I like where Vic is at, but Vic has got to be a little more aggressive, be a little more assertive, because his touch around the rim is special. He's got to be able to be confident that I think right now he's still he went through a year where teams figured out if you doubled down on him, if you pressured him, if you put him in a bad, a quick thinking, quick reaction situation, he didn't handle it well. He's trying to improve on that and adjust.
Well, you have to be able to channel that aggression though, right? Because last year when he did get aggressive, he found himself in foul trouble more often than not.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, I'm talking about when when you throw him the ball in the post and a double comes.
Okay.
He's got to figure out how to be more aggressive in solving that equation. Do you attack the double before it comes? Do you pass as the double's coming? Are you making the right pass? There's a lot of,
So then I guess it would be aggressive on the offensive side and maybe patience on the defensive side.
Yeah, a little bit. Brian, I actually suggested to somebody yesterday that they try to see if they can play with 6. 6-on-6, I think, might work better for this team because that's a better way to get another guy 40. That's another way to get 40 minutes of time. Sure. Here's the hard part, Aaron. If Josh Reed and Jared Hensley are ready to play significant minutes, your math becomes really difficult. We talked about this when we talked about the 4s, right?
Correct.
If you go back to the nightcap from a couple days ago.
You're talking about what, 6 guys that can play the 4?
Potentially, 6 guys that have the ability to play the 4. Jeremiah, Josh Reed.
Not counting Nolly.
I
wasn't counting Nolly.
Odie. Vic has played the 4. Kalu. And there's one other one.
Odie.
Well, no, I said Odie.
Did you?
There was one more. Yeah. Whatever. There's a bunch of dudes that you can get minutes at the 4.
JD, Nolly, Odie, Kalu, Vic.
Hensley, Reed.
Hensley, Reed. Yeah.
That's 7. A lot.
7 of your 13 dudes can play the 4.
Yeah. The battle for time at the 4 is not going to be a kind one. And that means, to me, JD's going to have to figure out a way to get some time at the 3.
Well, I think you're also going to have to put DeJulius at the 1 at times just to spread the minutes.
We'll see.
For those who wanted smaller rotations where you're not running 10, 11, 12 guys, tell me who
it ain't coming this year.
Who you leaving out?
Who gets shuffled? Who has the deck shuffled where you cut it down to an 8-man rotation? That means 5 guys on this roster aren't going to play. Where does that come from?
Well, you're gonna. That means you're losing 3 to 4, 5 guys next year.
Right. This coaching staff is going to earn their keep on that line of how they manage who goes where.
Ain't gonna be easy.
It ain't gonna be easy. That's for sure.
It's hard.
You know what's hard? It's hard having a roster of really talented guys. It's hard.
Coaching's hard.
Coaching's hard. You know what's hard? Coaching. That's what's hard.
Coaching in the Big 12. It's hard.
The one last year in the AAC, it's kind of hard. Got to figure out what we're going to do next year in the Big 12. It's hard. I don't know, Chuck. These guys are. It's not good.
You ever traveled to Lubbock?
Brian does the math. 200 minutes split 13 ways, 15 minutes player.
It's hard.
Let me tell you this, Brian. There is nobody on that roster that's going to be happy with 15 minutes a game.
Not nobody.
Not a single guy. There is not a single player on that roster that's going to look at 15 minutes and go,
Sage.
Sounds about right. Maybe Sage. Sage could look at 15 minutes and go, that's a good entry point for me. Everybody else? Nope. They go and want 30. And guess what? 12 players, 30 minutes. That's the math doesn't work. The math doesn't work.
All right. Anything else?
No, I don't have a ton else. Catching up as I'm just logging on. Buckle those seatbelts for this official visit weekend coming up. Preheat that oven, Chad. 60% off Bearcat Journal right now. You're going to want to do that. This is going to be a busy weekend. It's going to be a lot going on.
Content game is hard.
I'll tell you that. You know what's hard? It's hard. Aaron?
Power outages, actually. It's hard.
Hard. Yeah, it's hard. 10 commits in 5 days. That's hard. Kathy's going to get really mad about us over doing this joke.
Yeah, because
we can't do the UCF joke anymore.
You're only allowed to make one joke 7 times, and then after that, you're just beating a dead horse. You ever beat a dead horse, Chad? It's hard.
Good to see me back in business. Boy, we'll tell the rest of the story here. I was leaving open gym, and I got a notification from Spectrum that my internet was out. This is the first sign that something was awry at BCJ headquarters.
I do have one more thing I'll bring up about basketball when you finish this.
That's the first hint I've got that something was awry yesterday at BCJ headquarters. So I call Aaron and I'm like, I don't know what's going on at my house, but I just got a message that my internet is out. And I've never gotten that message before. It's hard, Paul. Finding jokes is hard. You know what's hard? Finding jokes. Jokes are hard.
He gets the show.
I love the callback, Aaron. Good work on the callback. And so I'm like, I don't know what's going on. So then Kelsey calls me, my daughter, and she's like, we don't have any power. And I'm like, oh, that's not great. That's not great. So I'm rushing home to do the BCJ podcast / Dave After Dark because it was supposed to be last night. And I get to my subdivision. My subdivision is it's a single road in and out. And the power for the entire subdivision is underground, except for the hill entering the subdivision. And if you go to my Twitter, you'll see that a tree had fallen on all of the lines of whatever phone, internet, cable, like power, cable. If there's a line of something, it was knocked out entering my subdivision. And there was just a little tiny cubby hole under the tree that you had to drive under to get to the house.
If a tree falls near BCJ headquarters and no BCJ members are there to hear it, does it make a noise?
It did apparently make a noise because Kelly and Kelsey were here and said they heard a boom, boom, crack, and then the power was out. So it did make a noise. I can confirm it did make a noise. Kelly went to her mom's because it's hard to be on oxygen without power.
Yeah.
So they left. They left me here with the dogs. And I started a fire and sat outside by the fire all night because that was a lot easier than sitting inside in the dark. And then 4 a.m. the power came back on. And
we got to do a show tonight.
And apparently we have to throw away all of the food in our refrigerator.
Taste test.
Kelly can't handle.
Well, you have to be
poisoning.
You have to be the guy who's doing the taste test, but try everything and wait an hour. And if you get sick, get rid of it.
Food poisoning takes about 18 to 24 hours to hit.
It's fine.
You know what? You know what's hard? Eating all the food in the fridge. That's hard.
Stuff in your freezer you'll be good.
Yeah, the freezer's fine. It's the fridge that we probably have to replace everything.
Getting back to basketball, you did mention that Wes Miller's brother was there and that you would talk a little bit more about that. I don't know what stories he wanted to go into, but
I'll tell the main one.
I will kick that to you.
So Walker Miller plays the open gym, whatever, and he's getting ready to leave, and he's standing at the tunnel, like where the opposing team runs out of, right? And we're joking around about coaches aren't allowed to be there, so Wes isn't there, but we're joking with Walker about the Monmouth game. And when he showed up, he had a Monmouth shirt on. And then after the open run, he had his North Carolina shirt on. Because remember, he was a walk-on at North Carolina for 3 years and then went to Monmouth as a scholarship player. And he stops right at the entrance to the tunnel, and he turns around and he looks and he goes, had a lot of good memories here. I like this gym. Really good place. And he just turns around and walks out of the gym.
I can't imagine holidays were super fun in that household.
So I'm told when alerted of that comment, Wes said, "Look, I didn't talk to my brother from the end of that game until Christmas Day at family Christmas. That's how competitive that family is. He cut his brother off for a couple weeks. Nope. He put him straight to read on text messages and sent him straight to voicemail on phone calls. And if I have to talk to you at Christmas, I'll talk to you at Christmas. But make no mistake, Walker is just as much of a trash talker as Wes. It was funny stuff. It was funny stuff. I wish I would have got them in the same place at the same time to get that back and forth, but unfortunately it was a series of relayed bits and pieces, relayed messages.
All from little birdies.
Yeah. All right, that's going to wrap it up. Dave After Dark, wow. What can you do? That was
a Congo line, apparently.
Unfucking believable. Aaron and I guess, are going to do a nightcap tonight.
Big thanks to Pedro.
Yeah, big thanks to Pedro the donkey, and unfortunate to hear about Pepe. It's a rough ending for him. We'll see you next time. It's the BCJ podcast, brought to you by the Holy Grail, right here on BearcatJournal.com.